welcome you to Chattanooga this evening, where a familiar clash of established USL League One presences takes center stage. It is red-hot Chattanooga Red Wolves hosting a South Georgia side that has started to find new life of late. We say hello and welcome from CHI Memorial Stadium. I'm Sam Goldfarb, thrilled to bring you all of the action this evening. And now let's get a look at our USL League One table, and you look at Chattanooga right now. A historic start to the season and a chance to go back atop the table with even 1 point tonight against Tormenta. Meanwhile, when you look further down the table, it is a Tormenta side with 4 points from its last two. 3 points could power them even into the top 8, depending on results elsewhere. So a major match for both sides here this evening. It's now time to get a look at our players to watch, starting with our Chattanooga player, presented by News 12. It is Jordan Iambila, the dynamic left wing back, who is now starting to produce a bit in the final third. 2 goals and 1 assist to his name in league play. Scott McKenzie raves about his work rate and also says he might just be the fastest player in USL League One. Keep your eye on him, especially on the counterattack for a Chattanooga side that loves to break. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Niall Reed-Stephen is perhaps the top creative presence for South Georgia Tormenta. You see those numbers on your screen, also scoring the match winner last week at Richmond Kickers. Matchup that dates back to USL League One's inaugural season, and the 19th meeting between Chattanooga and South Georgia Tormenta comes to you in a matter of moments. Stick with us, lineups and kickoff in a matter of moments here from Chattanooga. We'll be back shortly on the other side of this break.
This isn't just a team. It's a statement. We don't just represent Chattanooga.
Let's get it poppin', let's get it poppin'.
We run it.
Let's get it poppin'.
Built to battle. Fueled by pride. Driven by the pack.
Let's get it poppin'.
Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Why do you always seem to be on that last flight home? Why is the customer always right, even when they're wrong? It's because when it's your business, you're all in. And no one's all in with you like EPB. Only EPB is all in with 100% fiber fast internet that's always your best value. Plus experts all in to help you 24/7. We're all in Chattanooga because we're all in this together. EPB for your business. We're all in.
We welcome you back to the Den, where we are just about set for kickoff in a tale as old as this league's history. Chattanooga and South Georgia for the 19th time in league history in a matter of seconds. It's now time to get a look at our starting lineup, starting with Chattanooga Red Wolves, a squad that only makes one change from their 1-0 victory at Texoma last Saturday, and that change comes in defense. You see Owen Green in, Omar Gomez moves into midfield, and Noah Leffy in the squad this evening, a rare absence for the captain. Other than that, though, pretty standard for Scott McKenzie's men. Keep your eye on Omar Hernandez, who is one of the more dangerous presences in the league on the right-hand side. On the opposite end of things for South Georgia Tormenta, also one change, but pretty notable. Mason Tunbridge on the bench this evening. Yaniv Bazzini, Hanuela Buana, and Niall Reed-Stephen, the front three. Connor Doyle is back into the 11 yet again. Mark McKeever preferring him and Simba Kasanzu for the spine of that squad. We are just about set for kickoff here between South Georgia Tormenta and Chattanooga Red Wolves as we await our referee's signal coming in a matter of moments. And we do get our signal from Rogelio Alvarez, our lead official, for the 19th time in league history. Chattanooga and Tormenta locking horns, the third and final scheduled meeting of the year in USL League One. We welcome you into CHI Memorial Stadium. Sam Goldfarb thrilled to bring you all of the action here tonight. It is a Chattanooga squad that is perhaps enjoying the best form it ever has had. 9 unbeaten in all comps entering tonight, 4 wins from 5 in league play. This is a squad that has already produced its best 16 match start in league history, and it has only gotten better from there as they enter tonight 1 point off the top of the USL League One table. You wonder how they fare against a Tormenta side that will be quite familiar with it. And already, a bit of a hardware issue for Jordan Iambila. Maybe on the vest that tracks the data of how much they run in their vitals during a match. I believe that's probably what that's from. Long set piece. Hernandez floats it in. Comes out to Wynan Wessels, who assisted the winner against Texoma last week. Ultimately rolls back to pack with relatively no issue. Well, for Chattanooga, we mentioned it, 4 from 5 in league play, and last week the 1-0 victory over Texoma. Talking to Scott McKenzie about it, oddly enough, he said he felt that the performance was lacking a bit. Said that they were not as efficient as he would have liked, of course missing a penalty in the second half that would have potentially put the result to bed. But Texoma didn't create much in the final 30 minutes, and Chattanooga was able to grind things out even if it wasn't the prettiest of 3 points. Said though, in training this week, they focused a lot on tightening up the spaces between their lines, and he felt that Texoma had a little bit too much enjoyment on the ball between the gaps. As you see, Yaniv Pizzini is just getting back to his feet after that collision. Says that that's the precursor to when teams will create and start to play through you. So they focused a lot on tightening up those distances. We'll see how that comes off here tonight against a Tormenta side that is very familiar with what Chattanooga wants to do. This floated to the back stick. Bentley heads it up. And the foul committed by Niall Reed-Stevens sends things the other way. There is Waters, the hero last week. It was his 10th minute goal that made the entire difference. It's a makeshift corner effectively on a set piece. Great delivery from Wessels, and Waters just rose like a salmon to head it in. Chances were few and far between after that for Chattanooga, but as we mentioned, Texoma didn't create much of note. It was not the finest performance by either teams involved, but a gritty 3 points, and it was a game befitting of Scott McKenzie's desired style. Even when things aren't coming off, if you're working hard, winning 50-50 balls and just doing all of the little things that don't take talent, you put yourself in a position to get a result, and that was the case last week. Here is Omar Hernandez, already 7 goals to his name in all competitions. Bypasses Buana with relative expertise. Now fouled by Buana. These are the moments where if you are Tormenta, you must be careful. This isn't going to be a Chattanooga side that dominates the ball. In fact, it is a team that currently sports the lowest average possession in league history, now just down to 33.64%. But on set pieces and counterattacks, they are especially lethal. This is a team that prides itself on winning first and second balls, and their set piece package is pretty well developed as well. This floated in by Owen Green and claimed confidently by Austin Pack, the former Charlotte Independence man who was sensational between the sticks for 2 years with the southeastern side. A bit more up and down in his debut campaign with Tormenta, though. Buona. On the opposite end, talking to Mark McKeever this week, had an interesting conversation with him and the adjustment to being an interim head coach. Here's Alves, decent cross into Bazzini, off the post. An early warning shot from the Ibises. Now Gomez. Does Chattanooga have an answer the other direction? Hernandez. Yanis Lelin continues his run. Decent looking cross. Flicked on and just wide. Already some noise on both ends, though. And South Georgia Tormenta coming inches from a shock opener. When you look at Gabriel Alves, it's a low cross. Bazzini first to it and just can't pick out that far corner. But that is a chance that probably exceeds the quality of everything Texoma created last week and maybe speaks to some of the issues Scott McKenzie said he was noticing during the tail end of the second half. Corner for Chattanooga anyways. With in swing, just headed wide by Lelin. Another corner on the way. Another bite at things for Wine & Wessels, who delivered a peach from probably 10 yards closer to goal. That led to Waters' difference-making tally a week ago. This time towards the back post. Pack punches away. Dealt with relatively confidently by the 31-year-old. Well, there is your look at Tormenta's interim head coach, Mark McKeever. Just his third match in charge since Ian Cameron stepped down in early August. And talking to him, he's mentioned the system changing from a 4-back to a 3-back because that's what he's more comfortable with. But he says our principles don't change. Feels that Ian Cameron built up a very strong foundation at the helm of this squad for years, and he doesn't want to change too much of that. He made it clear to me on the phone, said, at the end of the day, even though I've changed the system, it doesn't mean what Ian Cameron was doing was wrong. It's just what I'm more comfortable executing as a manager. He says that a lot of the things Ian Cameron has instilled within this side remain key guiding principles of this squad, as Gabriel Cabral is slow to get up. See Declan Waters just extend his hand, and it's right into the neck area of Cabral. Clearly not any malice in it, but 28-year-old midfielder is still prone on the pitch. We certainly hope he's okay. Key presence as a ball-playing midfielder who scored last week in that victory over Richmond. this is a concerning sight for Tormenta supporters. Gabriel Cabral, veteran midfielder who rejoined the club from Miami FC this offseason and has been a mainstay in the squad, is still walking off, grabbing the front of his neck after coming together with Declan Waters. We certainly hope that he's all right. At least for the time being, Tormenta will play with 10. And Cabral is back out there, so a pleasant sight for all involved. I'm glad he's good to continue. There's Omar Hernandez. Leline. Spanish signee at right wing back who has grown into a frequent starter the last month or so. Kinsner. Wanted the run of Pedro Hernandez. It's cleared only as far as Wessels. Well, this match presents an interesting tactical conundrum because we all know about Chattanooga being almost possession adverse at times. Scott McKenzie saying to me a couple weeks ago, thinks possession is the most useless stat in all of football. And when you look at what they've done, despite sporting the lowest possession in league history, it's been remarkable. A team that plays direct, but is analytical about where it plays the ball and the matchups they play it to. And with their ability to win headed balls and duels in the air, they've created so many dangerous chances off second and third balls, and the goal scoring numbers speak for themselves. There's Gomez, pings this forward to Bentley. Comes out to Buana. Meanwhile, Tormenta, they tend at times to be better on the counter, so you wonder who adopts the role of aggressor in this fixture. You'd think it would be Tormenta, but it is not the most defensively sound side, and they concentrate too many resources forward. They quite literally play into Chattanooga's hands. So it is, especially for Mark McKeever, a unique puzzle to try and solve. Buana, a heavy touch. Doyle collects it right back. There's the former Seattle man, Hanwala Buana. Cabral. Callum Stretch joining the attack. Here's Connor Doyle, the longtime USL League One veteran who back in the day played for Chattanooga Red Wolves. A long range hit. Well, it's audacious from what appeared to be Mikel Rashid, and it's nowhere near on target. Fans watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Just inside the opening quarter of an hour here from CHI Memorial Stadium in Chattanooga. Sam Goldfarb taking you every step of the way in one of the oldest matchups in league history between Chattanooga and Tormenta. Chattanooga side that has hit its stride in the past 2 months. A Tormenta squad that could climb into the playoff places with 3 points and help elsewhere should all break right. So significant stakes for both of these clubs as we enter the business end of this campaign. As you take a look at this instant replay presented by Rodriguez Dentistry, score-winning smile. See Bentley just leaves a little extra on that challenge, and Doyle is still slow to walk it off. And now a Chattanooga player is down. Mark McKeever's opposite number is a man that has done wonders with his Chattanooga side, Scott McKenzie, his 3rd year as the head man of Chattanooga Red Wolves. And we've spoken about how he's gone back to his roots with this year's squad, only bringing back 5 regular starters from a season ago. and completely transforming the way in which he wants to play. Last season, having so many talented attacking presences, at times it felt like they had to take the fight to teams. This year, bringing in hard-working players who run, log challenges, and are not afraid to counter. And that has always been his desired style of play, he says. And now he has a collection of lads that have bought in and truly embraced the way he wants to approach matches. And you look at the standings, it is an incredibly impressive feat. Has drawn acclaim from opposing coaches throughout the league, and 3 points tonight would take them atop the table without any challenger. Let's get another look at what has caused the injury concern. Appeared Omar Hernandez headed the ball and came off a little worse for wear. When you talk to Scott McKenzie, though, his principles are so well defined. It's honestly admirable that he's been able to draw so much collective buy-in. He wants to play direct, he wants to break with pace on the counter, and in addition to all of that, he wants his players to be hard-nosed and win duels. And he's mentioned on a number of occasions, we don't win matches because we're more talented than teams. We win matches because we're harder working. And he's re-emphasized that message throughout this 9-match unbeaten run that has catapulted Chattanooga towards the top of the table. Omar Hernandez is back on the pitch. You get your first look at the reigning player of the week in USL League One, Jason Smith, the goalkeeper who's kept the second most clean sheets in the division. Last week, 5 saves en route to that 1-0 victory at Texoma. While none of them particularly glaring stops, he did the job and did it cleanly. Scott McKenzie has stuck by him through thick and thin, and, well, it is a particularly fruitful spell for Mr. Smith between the sticks. Gomez. Here is Hernandez, who's clipped at the legs, and this could pop off. Extracurriculars across the board now. Gabriel Alves at the center of it. I believe he's the man that logged the challenge, and then Chattanooga took considerable issue to it. Well, this escalated quickly. Hernandez, and then Alves, after logging the challenge, kicking the ball out with frustration. And Chattanooga's not a side that shies away from a scrap, and that's evidence of it. Yellow shown to Alves, and now this will get interesting what our referee decides to do with Chattanooga here. 3 or 4 players made a beeline for Alves immediately after he knocked it out of play. Yellow shown to what appeared to be Eric Kinsner. Conversation now being had between Rogelio Alvarez and his assistants. And now there is a red card out. It has been issued in the direction of Tormenta. It's just a question of whom has received his marching orders. It is a second yellow shown to Alves, so likely a yellow for the challenge and then another for the reaction. And inside 20 minutes, Gabriel Alves, one of the top chance creators in USL League One, has been sent off. You see here, he shrugs off Hernandez. That's likely the first yellow. And then the reaction after the fact, him kicking it out of play. He does do well to back away from the scrap after the fact, but damage had been done. And just like that, Tormenta down a man for the remaining 70 minutes and change. Well, what a turning point this is. The yellow card to Chattanooga, by the way, was shown to Owen Green, not Eric Kinsner. So, first yellow is shown to Alves. Green receiving a yellow for his reaction. And then after a conversation between Rogelio Alvarez and his assistants, Gabriel Alves sent for a premature shower not even midway through this first half. And the uphill battle of getting results at the Den has just gotten that much harder for Mark McKeever and company. 20 minutes gone. Gabriel Alves, the 26-year-old, sent off. Mark McKeever still seems a bit perplexed by that decision. Well, it gives us a chance to let you know that yellow cards and red cards tonight are presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. On the field, smart decisions win games. Off the field, smart decisions save lives. If you've been drinking, don't drive. Pass your keys to your sober friend. As the set piece is taken, flick on header from Waters is stabbed away. Now Reed Stephen. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. A reminder from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. So Gabriel Alves has been sent off. 2 yellow cards in rapid succession. And just like that, Tormenta playing a man down for the remaining 70 minutes. About Owen Green also booked in that interchange for his reaction. Welcome to USL League One. There is chaos every week in the best way possible. Although unfortunately, the early stages of this match has taken an uglier turn than we would have hoped. Iambila. Bentley. Here's Wine and Wessels. Spraying it wide. Iambila continues his run. Does win it back from Reed Stephen. Referee says play on. Cross to the back stick. Falls kindly. Off the post. Now Wessels. Deflected out. More chaos ensuing. And now Chattanooga has hit the woodwork. See Iambila, scrappy. Maybe pushes off on Reed Stephen. Dinks it so well to the back stick. It appears that it's Leilin who had the hit, and then Wessels cannoning it off the head of Mikel Rashid. Now Austin Pack is down and grabbing his leg. It's a very concerning sight for Tormenta supporters. Austin Pack is down, the 31-year-old who established himself firmly as one of the top goalkeepers in the division in the last 2 years at Charlotte. And while it has been more up and down by his lofty standards this year, top 4 in the league in saves is still a key piece. And on reputation alone is a very valuable goalkeeper. As of now, we'll look to play through it as there is a corner now coming for Omar Hernandez and company. Hook to the back post. Bentley got a touch to it. And it did take a touch out for what may be another corner. Well, fans, check out the new 2025 Chattanooga Red Wolves kit, along with t-shirts, scarves, novelty items, and much more at ChattanoogaRedWolves-SC.com. Another quarter on the way for Chattanooga Red Wolves as they look to draw first blood against 10-man Tormenta. In swinger again. Rashid first to it. Now falls for Green, who has a hit. Pack is able to corral it. And there is your look at the former USL League One goalkeeper of the year, and he passes his first test with flying colors. Falls nicely for Green, tries to shape his boots around this and curl it. Not nearly enough venom, though, to take it past the established veteran in Pack. Iambila. Looking for Bentley. He's been moved out wide more the last month after opening the year in his proper center forward role. The emergence of the likes of Pedro Hernandez as well as Grayson Mercer have opened up the door for Bentley to play further wide. Kinsner. Looking for Iambila, who latches onto this nicely. Niall Reed-Stephen doing just enough. Fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. We are just shy of the 30-minute threshold. Sam Goldfarb here from Chattanooga as the Chattanooga Red Wolves and South Georgia Tormenta locked in a scoreless affair thus far, but already some early chaos. Gabriel Alves, the star left back for Tormenta, sent off with a second yellow card on 20 minutes. And so Tormenta playing down a man for the remainder of this contest. It was an interesting decision. A yellow card for a challenge, and then his reaction to the challenge is what drew our referee's ire. Here's Iambila again. The initial challenge led to a full-out scrap between the two teams. Owen Green booked in the interchange. And already a bit of a bust-up in the opening stages of this one. Here's a flick on from Waters. Cleared only as far as Omar Hernandez, who cannot keep this in play. Fans, Coca-Cola is the exclusive soft drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. We've already seen a lot of Jordan Iambila in the opening stages for Chattanooga, and recently starting to produce for the Red Wolves. Number 5 in maroon popped onto the scene with the winner as a substitute at Westchester, and August has been a rather fruitful month for him. Talking to Scott McKenzie was interesting. Before that Westchester match, they had a team bonding exercise at the team hotel, and one of the superlatives that they assigned to Jordan Iambila was most allergic to scoring, along with Walefi, who's not in the squad tonight. Well, funnily enough, both of those two scored in the Westchester match, and Iambila has flat out taken off since. A pair of goals and an assist to his name. Already 3 goals in all comps now. Scott McKenzie saying that he's hoping that they can manifest more of that throughout the squad. It was a walking jinx. The night before he scores a key match winner, he is dubbed allergic to scoring by his teammates. It's a funny interchange there. Pack is out to collect. Obviously that was all in jest, and he has proved his teammates wrong since. Stretch. Linking well with Reed Stephen. Cabral. Some runners ahead for Jimenez and company. With this red card situation, you can imagine that Oscar Jimenez in particular will play a little deeper. It was more in a wing-back role. Maybe they drop him into an outside center back, someone who's a veteran, has played for years in the championship with Lou City and others, and he'll know how to handle scenarios like this. See him concentrated a bit deeper alongside the center back pairing. A young one at that between Jackson Kasanzu and Mikel Rashid. Stretch. A rare foray forward from him. Does pick out Reed Stephen. Doyle. Arcing ball in. Waters first to it. And only as far as Rashid. Reed Stephen again. Sprinting at Ayambila. That will be the battle to watch all night. To the edge of the area for Cabral. Takes a deflection, and Tormenta will have a corner. One of their first of the night. Well, fans, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Fans out in full force here in Chattanooga. Decent turnout in the supporter section as they look to will their side on to another 3 points. We'll have to grapple with this corner first. In swinger. Kinsner hooks it away. Comes out to Doyle. Here's Wessels. Can Chattanooga create against this 10-man side? Bentley times his run well. Darting inside. Hernandez back to Gomez, and that knuckled rather inconveniently. A little party going on behind the Tormenta goal at the moment, and well, it appears one kid has won the race to the ball. He can brag about that to his friends. Bentley. Dancing beyond defenders. Continues the run. Excellent recovery by Kasanzu. Buckle up, fans. EBP Fiber Optics delivers the fastest internet speeds in Chattanooga over the area's only 100% fiber optic network. Find the recklessly fast speed your home or business needs at ebp.com. Omar Hernandez was looking for Pedro Hernandez, who goes down in the area, and immediately the referee says penalty. Well, Pack late on his challenge and pays the price. See Hernandez play this to Pedro Hernandez, and it appears Pack mistimes this, thinking the ball will continue going. The deflection does not benefit him at all, and Hernandez clattered into. Pack gets none of the ball and immediately knows he's given away a spot kick. pleading his innocence, but maybe tough to plead here. Ten-man Tormenta's night just went from challenging to potentially worse. Let's get another look at this. It certainly didn't involve the most contact, but it certainly was not a well-timed tackle by any means. It's a pretty tame ball, ultimately, from Omar Hernandez. But again, I think Pack expects this to continue rolling. And then instead of clattering into the ball, he clatters into Pedro Hernandez. Upends him. Pedro Hernandez does a good job selling it, and Rogelio Alvarez did not hesitate, to his credit. There's a Tormenta player that is slow to return to his feet after all of this. Anuel Abuana is now just back up. So it presents us with an interesting situation here. Matt Bentley had an opportunity to put the match on ice at the second half of that Texoma match a week ago. He had his effort saved. Now he and Pedro Hernandez are deliberating over who will take this. Bentley, the usual go-to, hadn't missed before last week and now cedes the penalty to Pedro Hernandez. So an interesting decision. Bentley was the undisputed top man on penalties until his miss last week. And well, that's been apparently enough to give Pedro Hernandez the opportunity, as Austin Pack now changes his footwear. And it appears he's now satisfied with his hardware. Well, this delay gives us a chance to let you know that soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. The longest wait for a penalty kick in quite some time, as Pedro Hernandez now has time to pace, and the fans have time to acknowledge their status on camera. It is a decent turnout here at CHI Memorial Stadium. The fans supporting a Chattanooga Red Wolves side enjoying a historically good campaign, one in which they set the record for best 16-match start to a season in club history. Now they face off against Tormenta for the third and final time, a fixture in which they've taken 4 points from an available 6 already. So it is Pedro Hernandez who won the penalty, who will take this over Matt Bentley. And Austin Pack has a pretty large assignment on his hands if he hopes to keep Tormenta level. Hernandez 7 goals to his name in all competitions this season. A 4-year veteran of Chattanooga Red Wolves. And now Pack has shown the yellow for time wasting. So it is Pedro Hernandez against Austin Pack, a key inflection point in the late stages of this first half. And Hernandez delivers. No doubt, Chattanooga in front 1-0. Make it goal 7 in league play, goal 8 in all comps, and make it 1-0 to Chattanooga Red Wolves. Well, here's another look at the penalty. Decent delivery from Omar Hernandez. It gets deflected, and then Pack upends Pedro Hernandez. That's what draws the referee's ire. And then after about a 3-minute wait, Hernandez steps up, puts his laces through it, and notches it into the back of the net. Pack guesses the wrong way, but it would have been a difficult effort to stop anyways because of the sheer velocity behind it. Very well struck. Chattanooga 1, Tormenta 0. It is Pedro Hernandez, the 26-year-old, his 7th in league play, his 8th in all competitions. A well-taken penalty that now sees him as the team's leader in league goals this year. What a breakout campaign it has been in year 4 for the 26-year-old. Entered this season with just 4 goals to his name in 3 years. Of course, he's played all over the shop, sometimes playing right back, sometimes playing as a winger, now properly up front. But his versatility has gotten him into the team with regularity and has now seen him evolve into Chattanooga Red Wolves' top goal scorer. At one point this season, Pedro Hernandez scored in 5 straight league matches through the late spring and early summer. Went through a bit of a goal drought, but has come back with ferocity since. Scored that dramatic late winner against Forward Madison on this very ground earlier this month, and now puts Chattanooga in front from the penalty spot. Get the sense we'll have a fair bit of stoppage time. So while we say final 5 minutes of the first half, it is probably much more than that in reality. All in all, a tall task for Tormenta. Down a man and down a goal. Reed Stephen. Another yellow card presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Here's Reed Stephen again. Decent cross all the way back to Jimenez. Kasanzu. Rashid. Cabral. Can't pick out Hanwala Buana. It's read well by Levine. Cabral again. Charging it towards the area, and Smith is out there to collect with relative comfort. We've mentioned the long and storied history between these two clubs. Chattanooga 6-8-4 all-time against Tormenta, but as we mentioned, a win and a draw here this year, including a hard-fought 2-1 victory in Statesboro a couple months back. Of course, these two teams have played in a USL League One final as well. It came in 2022 in Tormenta's only playoff appearance. A 1-0 victory, a victory for Tormenta in the final. A late goal in the 81st minute by Jamil Roberts made the difference. It was a Chattanooga side that finished 4th in the league that year, toppled Richmond Kickers, the Players' Shield winners, to earn a spot in the final. Ultimately fell just short, falling in Statesboro in what was the best night in Ibis's history. The scoreline finished 2-1 with the late winner coming for Jamil Roberts. Buana. Rashid, a lively run forward this. It's been a tumultuous spell since that final. Chattanooga and Tormenta both missing the last 2 postseasons. Tormenta finishing 11th a year ago, and I've already mentioned the long drought prior to the hiring of Mark McKeever, who has got them trending back in the right direction. This is Wessels. Pinging this forward towards Hernandez, who may have Rashid for pace here. Instead upended and falls for Ayambila. Now crosses it, and Pack is content to let this one run. Meanwhile for Chattanooga, 2023 did not go according to plan, although Scott McKenzie, at the time of his hiring in late September, stabilized them, and then last season, an up and down year in which they could never get things sorted and finished 11th in the league. Just behind, then 10th place Tormenta. Two sides that were in contention until the penultimate match day of the season, and then ultimately for Chattanooga it was a home defeat against Richmond Kickers, which cost them. And of course, the turnaround under Scott McKenzie this year with new personnel and Mark McKeever showing signs of life for Tormenta these last couple weeks. Here's Reed Stephen. Doyle nods this along towards Bazzini, and it is collected by Jason Smith. By the way, 5 minutes of added time separate us from intermission. Wessels. Iambila in acres of space. Crossing it in. Bentley goes down. Just knocked out for a corner, says our referee. I don't know if this is flag football, tackle football, or football. You can decide at home. Another corner for Omar Hernandez and company. Hooked in towards the back post. Pack punches away. We'll run it right back. This is a tight delivery. It's very difficult for Pack to handle this, and he does rather well considering the circumstances. Just knock it out of danger and live to fight another day. He has been bombarded by corners throughout this first half. Here's another one. Hernandez just loses out to Kasanzu. Cleared only as far as Eric Kinsner. Midway through our added 5 minutes, as things stand, it is Pedro Hernandez's 40th minute penalty kick, which makes the difference. Brought down in the area and making Austin Pack and company pay the price. Here's Omar Hernandez. Good ball! Excellent save by Pack. Denying the oncoming Chattanooga player at point-blank range. And it looked like Yanis Leline, who was turned away from very close distance. This is a fantastic cross from Omar Hernandez. And it is Leline, the diving header. Just nods it right at Pack, though, and he has just enough time to react. Chattanooga opting to be the aggressor and overwhelming the Ibises at the minute. Another in-swinger. This is right at Pack. Only as far as Owen Green, though. Iambila. Iambila has gotten whatever space he's wanted tonight. Here's another inviting ball. Waters contesting for it, and he fouls Cabral in the process. It has been an interesting change in approach from Chattanooga, especially since the red card, taking the fight to Tormenta. Yes, outpossessed, still only 44% of the ball, but this is well above their season average. Scott McKenzie has said to me, he's jokingly looked at his assistants when they see numbers in the 40s possession-wise and said, we need less of it. Because, of course, their bread and butter is direct play and counter-attacking play. But they have been the better side by a country mile in this first half, albeit aided by the red card to Gabriel Alves around the 20-minute mark. There's a rare touch for Reed Stephen. Gomez. Iambila floating forward again. Green. We are beyond the added 5 minutes. This is likely the final foray forward of this first half. And there is our halftime whistle. Nip and tuck affair. Chattanooga, though, the aggressor, leads 1-0, courtesy of Pedro Hernandez's 40th minute penalty kick. It is a match shrouded in controversy through 45, as Scott McKenzie has just been yellow carded before the break. Red card shown to Gabriel Alves after just 20 minutes, seesawing the match comfortably in Chattanooga's favor. And they make the Ibises pay just 5 before intermission. At halftime, it is Chattanooga Red Wolves 1, South Georgia Tormenta 0. We will take a quick breather here from Chattanooga after 45 minutes of action. Following a lively start, Chattanooga grabbing control of the match and grabbing the lead before intermission. We'll step aside when we return a look around USL League One here on the halftime show from Chattanooga.
He shoots, and he scores!
Do you know how fast you were going? 2.5 gig. With kids on the couch.
New 2.5 gig internet from EPB.
Slow down.
It's recklessly fast.
Too fast.
With SmartNet plus Wi-Fi.
Violation.
Turbocharging all your devices. More than twice the speed of the gig for just a little more. Only from EPB.
That is recklessly fast.
Real recognized real. Real taste. Unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment. Crisp lemon lime. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
We welcome you back to Chattanooga, where at halftime the score is Chattanooga Red Wolves 1, South Georgia Tormenta 0. It gives us a chance to tell you that on the field, smart decisions win games. Off the field, smart decisions save lives. If you've been drinking, don't drive. Pass your keys to a sober friend, call a rideshare, or take a public transit. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. A reminder from the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security. Well, here at halftime, we mentioned it 1-0 in favor of Chattanooga, with Pedro Hernandez providing the opener. It was an eventful week, though, for USL League One. In the Jägermeister Cup, Greenville Triumph upsetting Indy 11 away from home to earn its trip to the semis. Take a look at how things unfolded at the midweek in Indianapolis.
Dials him up now on the cross. The touches had not been great until he got to the window. Soto to his right. Zukowski as well. Soto the overlapping run, and it's not called. We are level at a goal apiece. A 90th and an equalizer. Going quickly. Bernays did not hit it. That's it. Greenville is on to the semifinals.
No one said it would be easy, but the USL Academy to professional pathway is blazing a successful trail. More than 10 players on USL rosters are Academy products with professional contracts. A big deal and a big decision. Why? The pathway includes options. For many prospects, that's college soccer. Finn Sundstrom plays for North Carolina FC on an Academy contract. He now has valuable pro experience, but remains an amateur player. A different path is played out in Phoenix. 17-year-old Jamison Ping, a Phoenix Rising Academy member since age 12, was signed to a professional contract. This is now his career. Andy Chapman from Phoenix Rising FC joins us now. And Andy, Jamison Ping is very special to you because you've seen his process really from beginning to its current state. So what is it like to see something come to fruition through the academy process?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely been exciting for seeing someone be given the opportunity, someone that's been on the fields with them for the last 5 years. I've gone through the whole process.
This entire landscape, big picture, coaches that are in your shoes on other clubs, all of you guys kind of in the same boat making this work?
Yeah, Liz, I think USL have got a unique opportunity, and I think everyone's kind of using it to their advantage here. We should really push your players from a youth standpoint into that pro environment, and it's definitely a step up, but it's not for everybody. It's an endless opportunity for us to continue to grow.
USL clubs use their academies. Nearly 100 players have achieved academy contracts, opening doors for youth players to achieve their dreams of turning professional.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
We're here to support the rest of the club and the community.
We don't stop chanting, we don't stop drumming,
yelling and screaming and chanting.
We're following wherever, pretty much. That's just the love that we have for our team.
We want to be the loudest people, and we want you to hear where we are at.
People in this town love this team, pack these stands out for every single game.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
Pound of wood a day. Pound of wood a day.
What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
He shoots, and he scores!
We welcome you back here from Chattanooga. It's time to get a look at our news and notes from around USL League One, and how about one Knox? 13 matches unbeaten at home. Meanwhile, AV Alta also 8 matches unbeaten. They are creating fortresses on their respectively new home ground. Meanwhile, speaking on the subject of AV Alta, how about this? They're hosting Alianza, the Salvadoran Giants, on September 10th. And then finally, we alluded to this in the previous window, Greenville Triumph, the only League One side still kicking in the Jägermeister Cup. They are now traveling to Hartford on September 10th here in the Jaeger Cup semifinals. Now, around the league, looking at our team of the week, a couple of familiar faces. Actually, 5 in this match, to be precise. Jason Smith, of course, our player of the week, and then Jordan Iambila and Declan Waters joining him. Meanwhile, on the Tormenta side, Cabral and Tunbridge both scoring against Richmond a week ago, both included in our team of the week. And on the subject of our player of the week, how about we get a look at Jason Smith's 5-save masterclass at Texoma, which helped Chattanooga secure all 3 points away from home. A number of clear denials to keep Chattanooga in front. This one the best of the lot in the air, and then he also makes this save on the free kick. He was a huge part of the reason why Chattanooga was able to secure all 3 away from home last week. We will step aside again here from Chattanooga, where at halftime the scoreline is Chattanooga 1, South Georgia Tormenta 0. Our 2022 USL League One final rematch is back when we return after this short break.
He shoots, and he scores!
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite, obey your thirst.
This isn't just a team, it's a statement. We don't just represent Chattanooga.
Let's get it poppin', let's get it poppin'.
We run it.
Let's get it poppin'.
Built to battle. Fueled by pride. Driven by the pack.
Let's get it poppin'.
Chattanooga Red Wolves.
We welcome you back to Chattanooga, where at halftime, Chattanooga Red Wolves lead South Georgia Tormenta FC 1-0. It gives us a chance to tell you that this match is partially presented by Rodriguez Family Dentistry. Score a winning smile. Let's get a look back at our 45 minutes of action so far, and what an action-packed 45 it was from CHI Memorial Stadium. A fast start for Tormenta, creating a number of half chances and even hitting the woodwork. Yaniv Bazzini trying to pick out that bottom right corner, and he did not miss it by much. Kissing it off the right post, and maybe you thought this would be a back and forth affair, but then on 18 minutes, this happened. Gabriel Alves undercuts Omar Hernandez and then kicks it out of play. He kickstarts a proper scrap here at CHI Memorial Stadium and shown a straight red for his actions. So Tormenta down to 10 men inside 20 minutes, and then Chattanooga began to ramp it up. This to the back post, off the woodwork themselves from Chattanooga before Wessel's effort deflected out of play by Mikel Rashid. It's an excellent ball from Ayambila. Yanis Leilin nearly finishing. Not the only chance he'd have in that first half, though. And then on 35 minutes, Chattanooga finally creating their opportunity for the breakthrough. Pedro Hernandez upended by Austin Pack. Our lead official, Rogelio Alvarez, not hesitating about pointing directly to the penalty spot, and that sets up Hernandez 5 minutes later after a prolonged delay to bash it in with considerable aplomb. Just puts his laces through it. Pack guesses the wrong way. A 7th in league play from the 26-year-old to power Chattanooga in front. And then at the death of that first half, one more chance. We mentioned you would see more of Leilin. Well, here it is. A great cross, diving header, but heads it right at Austin Pack. Denied from making it 2-0 to Chattanooga on the stroke of halftime. And when you look at our halftime stats, they do tell the full story here. Chattanooga flat out dominant. Scott McKenzie, he preached efficiency. Well, efficiency they have provided here. 45% of the ball, but still leading 1-0, creating that spot kick opportunity, and even could have had one or two more by the end of those 45 minutes. They lead 1-0 and dominant in every stat, bar the one that Scott McKenzie says he doesn't really put too much stock in. So all in all, a strong half from his men. Well, Chattanooga is readying a change, it appears. Aaron Lombardi, the Argentine player, is getting set to enter. The Argentinian will enter the action here at halftime in place of Pedro Hernandez. So a defense-minded swap. Lombardi more of a wing-back, replacing the proper center forward in Pedro Hernandez as the goal scorer exits. Meanwhile, Tormenta also readies two changes. Jimenez and Bazzini are set to make way. Taylor Gray and Jonathan Nianjo enter. Those both relatively attack-minded swaps because they brought off a wing-back for Taylor Gray, who's more of an out-and-out winger. Meanwhile, Nienjo, more of a winger himself, but he displaces the center forward in Bazzini. So Gray for Jimenez, Nienjo for Bazzini, and on the Chattanooga side, Aaron Lombardi for Pedro Hernandez. A trio of swaps across the board as we are back underway from CHI Memorial Stadium. It is Tormenta forced to play catch-up if they hope to salvage anything. It is Chattanooga looking to see things out for another 3 points to make it 10 unbeaten in all competitions. This will be an interesting final 45. Mark McKeever making a double swap as he looks to reinforce his front line. Will Tormenta be able to successfully take the fight to Chattanooga in their own half? It felt like outside of Bazzini's effort that hit the post, they were lacking, especially after the red card inside 20 minutes to Gabriel Alves. There's Cabral's delivery. Juana. Now Lombardi, his first touch. Maybe free to roam a bit further forward because he's been substituted in place of Hernandez. Ayambila nearly tracked this down, but fouled Taylor Gray in the process. Well, there are the changes. Bazzini out for Nienjo, and Taylor Gray in for Oscar Jimenez. As Mark McKeever throws caution to the wind with his side already down a man and down a goal. It would take something spectacular to salvage something against a Chattanooga defense that is top 4 in the league in goals allowed and has capped the joint second most clean sheets in the division with 7. When you look at the XG numbers of that first half, 1.19 compared to 0.14 for Tormenta. Very glaring disparity between these two squads. Hernandez floats this up. It falls for Bentley. Excellent save by Pack. Does just enough to turn him away at the near stick. Great ball here. Kasanzu actually winds up heading it right into the path of Bentley. And it forced Pack to act quickly, and act he did. Throw now for Chattanooga. Appeals for handball. Referee says play on. There's Green. Huffing it upfield. It's a good ball. Waters was offside. Gomez. Lombardi keeps it in play and wins the second ball. Here's Bentley driving forward. Matt Bentley just missing out on that top right. That was the chance to polish it off. This is the last thing you want to see as a defender. Matt Bentley sprinting at you with a decision made. He always knew he was shaping up for that far corner. And he just bashed it wide as you get a look at our replay presented by Rodriguez Family Dentistry. Score-winning smile. Not enough curl to that effort. Plenty of ferocity, though. Reed Stephen. If anyone can change the tide, it's him. Runs into a thicket of maroon kits. Lombardi. Well beyond the reach of Hernandez and Bentley now. an interesting conversation with Mark McKeever this week. He mentioned his golden tickets, 3 keys to success, to winning a match. The first thing was personal battles, winning 50-50 balls. And I think he would even admit that he feels his side hasn't done a good enough job of that. Chattanooga winning a lot of those first and second balls, and it's allowed them to control the match. Beyond that, he's mentioned performances in the 18-yard boxes. I think neither side has taken chances to the degree they would have hoped. And then operating as a collective, the third big golden ticket to winning matches. When you talk to Mark McKeever, he has a very interesting way of looking at performances, and it is a great way of digesting winning tidbits, not to mention the golden tickets. Beyond that, he also emphasizes the collective as a squad. He looks at USL League One sides as a collection of strengths and weaknesses, and it's about offsetting your weaknesses with strengths elsewhere. And he's mentioned how taking over this side, there are areas where they need to develop a bit more than others, and they're just looking to counteract that. Scott McKenzie, meanwhile, is someone who goes back with Mark McKeever a fair bit, says that he has the utmost respect for Mark and how he looks at the game. He says he has respect for every coach, but Mark especially is in the highest esteem in his regard. He joked that he sent a text to Mark McKeever at the time that he was announced as the interim head coach and said, "I hope you can kickstart their season, but kickstart it after the 23rd. Said he got a good laugh out of Mark after that text. Here's Omar Hernandez's ball in. It speaks to the fraternity of coaching in this league. Bentley now is through, and he was offside. And it is, when you talk to both of them, the respect is very mutual. Mark McKeever went out of his way to mention how happy he is for Scott McKenzie, and has said that he's gotten everybody to buy in to his collective mindset, and it's something that all of the best teams in USL League One establish from the get-go. That is the foundation, and he is so thrilled to see that success, hoping, of course, that his side can counter it. Cabral just left it dangling. But out for a Tormenta corner. Buona without swing. It's an inviting ball just over the head of Nyonjo. Falls for stretch. And comfortably into the gloves of Jason Smith. It's going to take better to beat him from that range, especially given his recent form. Went through his ups and downs early in the year, but Scott McKenzie said to me early in the season, we've told him we're willing to let him play through his mistakes, and that has paid considerable dividends because he now ranks joint second in the league in clean sheets, anchoring one of the best back lines in the entire division. Well, there's certainly still room for improvement for a 22-year-old. He's been a revelation of sorts these last few weeks. Here's another revelation, Jordan Iambila, a loanee from the USL Championship, who has had plenty of enjoyment on the ball. Leline dinking it to the back stick. Nearly reached Lombardi. And a ferocious challenge from Gomez. Just a goal kick. Vans Body Armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Iambila dancing past defenders. Now wide for Lombardi. Nobody there at the back stick. Actually, Leline is there. And closed down immediately by Doyle. Chattanooga is racking up the corner count at the moment. It is now a 8-2 advantage on corner kicks for Chattanooga Red Wolves. And the fans right behind the goal are enjoying that state of affairs. It's a long throw though. Nianjo. Reminder for those just joining us, Tormenta down to 10 men. Gabriel Alves sent off inside 20 minutes. A yellow card that was upgraded to a red rather shortly thereafter. And Tormenta has found themselves playing on the back foot since conceding the opener from the penalty spot to Pedro Hernandez on 40 minutes. And ever since, Chattanooga's looked more likely to add a second. Tormenta with rather little threat the other direction. Lombardi, Iambila on the underlap, in space, crossing it. Leilin not there to greet it. You wonder if maybe Jordan Iambila should have tried the cut back to some of the forwards in the box. You think they're having fun? I think the guy in the U.S. men's national team shirt's having more fun than everyone there. Gray. Iambila recovers quite nicely. There was a slight tug on the kid of Gray. That appears to have drawn our referee's attention. So set piece beckoning for the Ibises here. And a yellow has been shown as well. Get another look here. Gray is actually shown the yellow card for pushing Iambila at the end of this interchange. But still a set piece for the Ibises. This ping to the back post. Headed on. Smith comes to punch. Falls to Buona. Deflects out of play. Will be a corner. By the way, the yellow was actually shown to Iambila, which makes a lot more sense, seeing as it was a Tormenta set piece. Yeah, I think they're confused which football they're supposed to be playing. Outswinger, collected by Smith. Iambila overzealous in the tackle, and remember, he is on a yellow card now. So this at least gets interesting. Fans can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Just shy of the hour mark, still 1-0 to Chattanooga, courtesy of Pedro Hernandez's 40th minute penalty kick. Tormenta down to 10 men after Gabriel Alves was sent off inside 20 minutes with a yellow card that was upgraded to a red shortly thereafter. Tormenta playing an uphill battle ever since. They've struggled to create anything of note since going down to 10. Gray is looking to change that, and he is undercut rather aggressively at that, in a very appetizing spot for a free kick. Well, Waters comes in a step late, and he pays the price. And a yellow card has been shown as well. Declan Waters booked, likely for his reaction to the call rather than the challenge itself. So the captain, in Will Effie's stead, is walking the tightrope. We've hit the hour mark. What can Tormenta conjure from this? Cabral and Reed Stephen in the immediate vicinity. A couple weeks ago, Mason Tunbridge scored from a free kick in a similar position at Westchester. Don't put it past Reed Stephen to have a crack. Reed Stephen does as a pop. Falls right into the wall, though. Bentley deflects away. Cabral recovers and prevents the counter. Well, remember, Mason Tunbridge is on the bench this evening for Tormenta. Given his recent form, you'd figure Mark McKeever would give him a go, especially if this drags on. Of course, 2 goals and 1 assist in the Westchester draw, and then the opener from the spot a week ago at Richmond, recovering from that late spring, early summer goal drought in league play. Doyle. Here's Levine. One back by Levine, and has options as well. Looking for Gomez, rolls all the way towards Lombardi, and the intervention comes from Stretch in the nick of time. That's a promising counterattack that's just kind of evaporated into thin air, and I think those are the moments Scott McKenzie has mentioned needing to be slightly more efficient. Yes, they've had a lot of chances in this match, but those opportunities are the times when they can truly kill things off. And I think that's what's currently going through his mind as he paces the touchline. He spoke to me about emphasizing better performance in the penalty boxes over the last couple weeks. And it's still a team that has scored goals, though, at a pretty high clip in league play. Iambila. It's gone out for what now is the 8th corner of the night for Chattanooga.
Body Armor, the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves.
Well, fans, Coca-Cola is the exclusive soft drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves as this corner is taken short. Headed away now, only as far as Owen Green. Deflects just wide. Corner 9. Not a bad effort, this. It's a training ground routine. Falls rather nicely to Green. It's that deflection from Rashid that maybe freezes Pack for a second. This delivery is far worse, though. Omar Hernandez gets set for another throw. Long throw. Rashid first to it. Falls back for Hernandez. Bentley giving chase. Can't keep it in play. Chattanooga readying 3 changes. We'll get those for you in a matter of moments. Hearing word that Chattanooga is getting set to replace Owen Green, Omar Hernandez, and Jordan Iambila, who is on a yellow card. So Scott McKenzie shoring things up in a fair few seconds. Here's Leline. Twirling past defenders and wins a free kick. Tormenta also is preparing 1 change. Mason Tunbridge is getting set to enter for Hanuela Buana. So the ace up Mark McKeever's sleeve is about to be deployed. 3 changes meanwhile. Zaire Vasquez, Joshua Ramos, as well as the debutant Matthew Acosta, who signed for the club last week, is entering. So here are the changes. Vasquez, Ramos, and Acosta, the University of North Carolina product who played in the New York Red Bulls Academy, making his professional debut for Chattanooga Red Wolves. A piece added to relieve the injured Michael Knapp, who will miss the rest of the year. Michael Knapp was a regular starter in the center of midfield. And Acosta will be tipped to fill that void. So loud applause for Mr. Acosta, who makes his professional debut. Free kick hooked in by Wessels. And the header is just wide from Gomez. And on the other side, we mentioned it, Mason Tunbridge into the fray. The leading scorer in all competitions with 10 goals and 5 assists, who has logged a total of 4 goal contributions across the last 2 league games. What a performance he logged against Westchester. 2 goals and an assist, including the would-be winner had they not conceded a late penalty in stoppage time. Tunbridge, the native of London, who impressed at the University of San Diego and earned himself his first pro deal a year ago. At this point, for Mark McKeever, the signs are clear. They will chase this and desperately seek an equalizer at all costs, and who could blame them? Entering tonight, 2 points south of the playoff line, as we wind down into the final 2 months of this campaign. Scott McKenzie, meanwhile, his side, a comfortable gap between themselves and the postseason places, a far cry from the state of affairs a year ago. Right now, if they were to secure all 3 points, it would be another monumental moment. A 5th win in the last 6, as well as a 10th straight unbeaten. McKeever hoping that that reality doesn't come to fruition. He's brought all of the attacking firepower at his disposal off the bench. Tunbridge, Reed Stephen is still out there. Taylor Gray and Nienjo joining the fray. This is Tormenta with all of their elite presences going forward on the field. It's deflected, nearly reached Bentley. Clever from Reed Stephen. Still space for him. Does play this forward. Smith was off his line, but there to recover and make the stop. Decent half chance this. Reed Stephen just slithers his way past defenders, and there's Tunbridge's first involvement. just trying to chip the goalkeeper and unfortunately not getting enough altitude on it. As Declan Waters is slow to return to his feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, once the clock hits the 80th minute.
Well, fans, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Inside the final 20 minutes of action from CHI Memorial Stadium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Sam Goldfarb bringing you all of the action. A 1-0 advantage to Chattanooga Red Wolves over Tormenta, courtesy of Pedro Hernandez and his 40th minute penalty kick opener. Chattanooga side that has been on the front foot all night, looking to find that killer blow as Waters looks to walk off the earlier nog. Triple swap for them. We already mentioned Zaire Vasquez, who's been a valuable presence going forward as a center forward option. Joshua Ramos replacing Ayambila in that like-for-like swap in the left wing back role. And then, of course, Omar Hernandez, after providing the pass that led to the penalty kick, replaced by Matt Acosta, with Chattanooga looking to establish some more semblances of defensive solidity. We've already mentioned the unfortunate absence of Michael Knapp. Of course, Brandon plays for Omaha. Michael Knapp, the mainstay in the center of midfield alongside Walefi in what was a dual pivot for Chattanooga that revolutionized the league. Knapp suffered a season-ending injury, though, a few weeks back, and as a result, it opened the door for Wine and Wessels to take over and impress, but it's also left Chattanooga needing reinforcements, and they find Matt Acosta, a 22-year-old out of Annandale, New Jersey, who spent 4 years in college playing precisely in the role they need to fill the void, as Ramos's cross is charged away by Rashid. Only as far as Gomez, though. Picked back up by Ramos. And another corner for the Red Wolves. Aaron Lombardi stands over it. Wine and Wessels receives it short. They may have taken it too quickly for our referee's liking. Declan Waters is down again.
Body armor is the official sports drink of the Chattanooga Red Wolves.
The 26-year-old center back, the native of Dublin, Ireland, receiving attention now to what looks to be his knee area. Year 3 of his pro career. It has been a key feature in the heart of defense since joining Chattanooga last January. Began his career in Sweden before making that move, but a lot of experience in the United States. 2022 Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year at Drake. Has emerged as one of the top center backs in the division this year. So this is far from a welcome sight for anyone involved, but especially Chattanooga supporters, as Waters looks to walk this off. And it appears he will make way, so we send our thoughts to Declan Waters. We hope he'll be all right, but it appears his night comes to a premature conclusion as he hands the armband off to Matt Bentley. So when his Waters out, the makeshift captain in Walefi's place, he's replaced by Toby John Hope, who has not made a league appearance for quite some time. his first league appearance in the last 13 games. Mid-season signing last year, who replaces Declan Waters in a crucial spot for Chattanooga. Has featured in the Jägermeister Cup and did score the winner here last month against One Knoxville in the final day of group play. Here's an outswinging corner, and it's headed in! It is John Hope! What an introduction to the match! 2-0! Instant impact, and Chattanooga may have just put it to bed. Well, scored the winner against One Knox, and now he scores the winner against the dagger against Tormenta. It's a perfectly executed corner. No one picks him up, and he makes the entire defense pay. Toby John Hope, with his first touch, makes it 2-0. Well, after 13 matches away from the league squad, Toby John Hope makes the immediate impact. 14 minutes from full time, he may have just put the final nail in Tormenta's hopes of a result. A 27-year-old from Largo, Florida, who signed a 25-day contract with Chattanooga last July before it was extended throughout the rest of the season. Coming onto the pitch, he's bounced in and out of the lineup this year, but displaced by the likes of Kinsner, Owen Green, Declan Waters, and others. And with Chattanooga in desperate need of a center back to help lock up shop, he comes on and adds what might just be the final deciding factor in this one. Gray, it will take something Herculean now for Tormenta to salvage anything. Toby John Hope, literally his first touch, heading it home in place of the injured Declan Waters. A first league goal of the year. A second goal in all competitions. On just his third appearance since mid-April in all competitions. Yellow card has been shown as well as Tormenta readies for another set piece. Cabral and Tunbridge over it. Tunbridge takes, stabbed away. Yellow card was shown to Matt Acosta, the substitute. Tunbridge. Doyle chipping it in. Reed Stephen rises, can't reach it. Well, if you're just joining us, we welcome you into CHI Memorial Stadium. Chattanooga Red Wolves destined to return atop the USL League One table, leading 2-0 over 10 men South Georgia Tormenta, who have been down to 10 since around the 20-minute threshold of the first half. Pedro Hernandez opening the scoring in the 40th minute. Toby John Hope, a second after subbing on, stabbing it in with his head from a corner to make it 2-0. Welcome back to USL League One action. Ramos. Can Chattanooga find further carnage? This time Kasanzu dispossesses him. If Tormenta could salvage anything, it would be perhaps a season-defining result. Remember, they entered tonight 2 points shy of the playoff line. anything would be so valuable from a fixture like this away from home, especially seeing as how the first 80 minutes have gone. Outside of one effort that cannoned off the inside of the right post, they've produced rather little of note. Being down a man has not helped matters in that regard by any means. Zaire Vasquez. Flashing ball. Bentley got his head to it. Now nodded along by Ramos. Lombardi. You could tell he wanted the spectacular. Couldn't find the space for it, though. Two more changes being readied by Tormenta, it appears. One of them is Sebastian Vivas, probably the last major attacking piece in Mark McKeever's arsenal. It is Vivas and Aaron Walker. Who are preparing to enter in a matter of seconds. Doyle. Reed Stephen will vacate for Sebastian Vivas, it appears, and Doyle will leave for Walker. Like for like in terms of Doyle for Walker. Those two have traded starting spots all year. So it is Vivas. A native of Argentina, who joined from the Argentine third tier last winter and burst onto the scene with 8 goals a year ago, who replaces Reed Stephen. And then, of course, Aaron Walker, the USL League One veteran, making USL League One appearance number 156. Former longtime Greenville Triumph player who has moved across Peach State Derby lines to join the Ibises this year. Inside the final 10. Chattanooga, as things stand, in cruise control. Gomez hooks it towards Bentley, and he pushed off on Mikel Rashid. Well, what another quintessential Chattanooga display. Yes, they've had more of the ball tonight. 46.3% to be precise. Dominating the match with their physicality, their ability to win first and second balls has ruled the evening in terms of possession of note. Although Nianjo is able to weave a web of lies here. Pass to Costa, deflects out for just a goal kick. Levine muscled off it. This is Vivas' first touch. Linking well with Tunbridge. Now Nianjo. Can Tormenta create some late intrigue? Or will they go out with a whimper? Gray. Tunbridge. Sprang it to the back stick. Does reach Nianjo. Curling ball and claimed confidently by Smith. Who as of now is in line for a second consecutive clean sheet. Hasn't been forced into many saves, but has been expert in his command of the box, playing well beyond his years this evening. Looking like a veteran rather than a 22-year-old first-year pro. Acosta. Ramos. When you look ahead for Chattanooga, win an unbeaten run that will all but surely extend to 10 matches after tonight. Does not get much easier because they welcome AV Alta to town a week from today. An AV Alta side currently 6th in the table, but has occupied as high as the 2nd place spot in USL League One before a recent winless rut, I should say. Then from there, hosting Charlotte, 2 matches away against Portland and Spokane before they round up their next 5 at home against Omaha to close September. For Tormenta, this is the final match of their 4-match road trip. Take on Ford Madison at home and Knoxville at home in the next 2 weeks. That Madison match will be crucial to defining playoff hopes for both these sides below the line at the moment. It's a Madison squad that has been ravaged by injury and unable to hit top gear. Both those teams will be more than 3 points outside the playoff places, barring a major change in fortunes for Tormenta tonight. Switch of the play. Ramos, now Gomez. Has some room here, plays it through to Bentley. It was a well-timed tackle from Mikel Rashid and just another corner instead. He's made a menace of himself, Matt Bentley, as he tends to do in the penalty area. Maybe not as many clear-cut chances of note as he'd like, but still an impactful presence nonetheless. And all in all, all's well that ends well. 2-0 lead that should very well translate to 3 points. Wynan Wessels stands over the corner. The man that supplied Toby John Hope's dagger 12 minutes ago. Without swing to the heart of the area. This time not as clean contact. Second ball from Wessels. John Hope heads it wide. Lombardi dinking it through. Chattanooga not quite able to conjure a third, but still creating danger for Tormenta to snuff out. You see the flare coming off now. Lombardi, the dinked ball. Looks like it's Omar Gomez on the far side, who just loses his footing. Final 2 minutes of the initial 90. You figure there may be a fair bit of stoppage time to weather, given that there was a few injury stoppages in this second half. I think Mark McKeever will value his team's effort down to 10, but will be quite frustrated with the lack of attacking creativity in this one. Yes, they were down a man, but outside of Bazzini's big chance to open the scoring early, which very well could have made it a different match, they have conjured very little of note. It has not been their finest day in the final third. Against a Madison side that likes to tighten up shop back there next week, they will have to be better. Kasanzu. Walker. This is Taylor Gray. Tunbridge. Walker again. Well into the final minute of our initial 90. Working ball right into the gloves of Smith. Chattanooga will go atop the table. Live table, they sit on 40 points. That would put them 2 clear of Spokane, albeit with Spokane still boasting that match in hand following the cancellation of their trip to Portland last Sunday. Hearing word it is just 4 minutes that separate us from full time. Well, fans, only EBP Fiber Optics delivers fiber fast internet speeds up to 25 gigs to help you stream, game, work, play, and more on all of your high-tech devices at the same time. Find the recklessly fast speed you need at ebp.com.
This is also a reminder to head over to the Hollow Bar for autographs and pictures from the Chattanooga Red Wolves players upon conclusion of the match.
What a performance this has been for Chattanooga. One of their highest shares of possession in a match this season. And in many ways, that runs counterintuitive to the way they want to play, but still dominating the match their way nonetheless. It is the physicality, it is the quick breaks, it is the set pieces especially, which have done the job. And maybe while it hasn't been the most efficient display for Scott McKenzie's men, it has been one in which they've still put 2 past their opposition. Side enjoying one of its most prolific goal outputs, despite being very much built on its back line. This is what many may refer to as McKenzie's Renaissance. For Mark McKeever and company, it is back to the drawing board. Side that finds itself at the moment 4 points adrift from the playoff places as we head into our final 2 months of the campaign, and still plenty of work to be done. Cabral, Niangel, Smith again collects. For Tormenta, we mentioned it, their next home match is next Saturday against Forward Madison. Back to the drawing board, Madison and then Knoxville at home. If they can get 4 points from those fixtures, I think they'll feel decent about where they sit in the early stages of September. If they come up empty-handed in those, the playoff hopes may wane dramatically. Tunbridge has won one last-second corner for the Ibises. Within swing, Smith punches away. Maybe room to break. Acosta just a step slow behind Cabral. And now into the final minute of the added 4. It would take a dramatic turnaround for Tormenta to leave here with anything. Gray. That knuckles well beyond the reach of Tunbridge. Tough night for Tormenta. Down a man inside 20 minutes and never recovered from there. A deserved 3 points, no doubt, for the hosts, albeit aided by the extra man for large spells. Doesn't take away from how good they've been. Niangel is likely the final break forward for the Ibises, and it amounts to nothing. There is the full-time whistle. Chattanooga dominant from effectively wire to wire. Pedro Hernandez opening the scoring in the 40th minute after Tormenta went down to 10 men's 20 minutes before. And then the dagger from Toby John Hope to wrap things up with his first touch of the game. It is now time for our play of the match, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, and it is this header from Toby John Hope. His literal first touch comes on for the corner kick and stabs it home with considerable aplomb beyond the reach of Austin Pack to make it 2-0 and put the match out of reach from 10-man Tormenta. His dagger, our play of the match. And unsurprisingly, he is our man of the match, presented by Outlaw Light Beer, Toby John Hope, the super sub who polished things off in the late stages of the second half to secure yet another 3 points for Chattanooga Red Wolves. Well, that is where things finish. 2-0 in favor of Chattanooga. We will step aside when we return to look back at yet another masterclass from Scott McKenzie's men.
Why do you always seem to be on that last flight home? Why is the customer always right, even when they're wrong? It's because when it's your business, you're all in. And no one's all in with you like EPB. Only EPB is all in with 100% fiber fast internet that's always your best value. Plus experts all in to help you 24/7. We're all in Chattanooga because we're all in this together. EPB for your business. We're all in.
This isn't just a team. It's a statement. We don't just represent Chattanooga.
Let's get it poppin'. Let's get it poppin'.
We run it.
Let's get it poppin'.
Built to battle. Fueled by pride. Driven by the pack.
Let's get it poppin'.
Chattanooga Red Wolves.
We welcome you back to Chattanooga. We're at full time, presented by Smart Bank. Our score is Chattanooga 2, South Georgia Tormenta 0. A 10th straight match unbeaten for Chattanooga Red. Now you look at our full-time stats presented by Smart Bank. Experience Smart Bank. Here are the numbers. Chattanooga dominant in all phases. Yes, they were outpossessed, but Scott McKenzie's men used to that. That's even a higher share of possession than they're used to having. They outshoot Tormenta 16-5 and a 5-1 shots on goal advantage. The stat that matters most, of course, 2-0 to Chattanooga over Tormenta. Well, that is where things finish from the Chattanooga area. Chattanooga Red Wolves notch yet another 3 points and move back atop the USL League One table. They win 2-0. Hernandez, as well as Toby John Hope, making the difference. For our terrific crew from CHI Memorial Stadium, I'm Sam Goldfarb saying so long where it finishes. Chattanooga 2, South Georgia Tormenta 0. Chattanooga back atop the table again here at home. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.